The goal is to finally unify everybody before destruction happens again, because every time it happens, it's bigger and bigger.
Oh, I see. Okay. How does the Earth look now? Or how does humanity look at this time?
Humanity's going to be all right. The divide is happening. The side of the negative is doing everything you would imagine.
Right.
It's almost a step-by-step scripted incident response world.
Exactly.
But the gatherings of all of the other types of people are going to be happening too. You know, there's a lot more light workers coming out and talking about who they are, where they come from, what type of being they are. And this is spreading more and more. And that's really what needs to happen, is that all of us, even though that might be the hill we die on in a witch hunt, that's what we need to do now, to be able to really gather the people together and start teaching them some stuff that they might not know, and possibly face, you know, some sort of persecution or hazing, whatever you might want to call it, from people who just won't get it. And that's, you know, it's such a minor inconvenience, you know. It's totally worth it to just go speak your truth.
What kind of thing would be beneficial to start teaching to these
Whatever people do.
I see.
If you are a light worker trying to teach people how to meditate, go do it. You know, if you want to go be on the front lines of protests, go do it. Grab you a sign and get out there. Everybody has their own specific mission, and as long as they follow that internal message, they're going to find themselves in the right place. They'll be where they need to be.
Got it. Okay. How can you tell if you're being taken or actually abducted by a government gray? Is there a telltale sign to know if it's a government gray or a real gray?
This is difficult. This takes a lot of willpower. You'd have to be able to see what's happening. When you might see the little grays at first, but it's going to be about the energy. You might feel absolutely terrified. You might be, even if you see a real gray, you're going to feel a little bit scared. Not going to lie, you're going to be
right.
pretty scared, because your body won't know how to react. But
right.
with these government grays, it's how they treat you. The grays that I interact with here that are loving, that are the only ones I've interacted with. They will come up to you. When they speak into your mind, they're very sweet. They're just curious, and they'll hold your hands and walk you around. They're not going to throw you around. They're not going to grab you and hurt you. It's very voluntary. It's a different experience.
What can you do if you're a human and you're being abducted by a gray from the government?
There's a level of sheer willpower, I guess you're going to have to say. If you can wake up, if you're asleep and it happens, just do everything you can to wake up.
Okay.
A lot of times they're trying to put you into that sleep paralysis to get you out into the craft and stuff, you know. So if you can break through that, usually that'll stop. But really, if you're not going to know until you're inside of the experience whether it's truly the grays or maybe one of the reptilian or governmental type grays, because you're going to have to be able to look around. There won't be people in black uniforms with guns if it's the grays,
right?
You know.
Right.
That's exactly what you'll see. You'll see that in there. You'll see who is working with them.
Why?
I mean, at that point, there's almost not much you can really do. If it were me, this being here, this vessel would fight back.
Right. Got it.
But they can incapacitate you, so, you know.
What does the government want through doing this?
They're doing human experimentation, trying to make a super soldier type being, or almost weaponizing a genetic program to create beings as weapons. Whether it be animal hybrids with technology that are, you know, maybe aimed to be dropped into a war or something, or literal human styled clones mixed with ET genetics to make them super soldiers in certain ways. So that way they can have people pretty much piloting these things around like a video game, and not expend real soldiers, but still have the war.
I see. Because I've met a woman who was an older woman who was being taken quite often by the government. and she was just complete mess. She didn't know what to do.
Was she in the birthing stuff, into the birthing department?
I think so.
That's usually what they do. They're trying to make hybrids, and that's
Oh,
unfortunate. That's the government has their ways, but it's not even really the government. These are secret organizations that are beyond the government
I
that do
see.
this, and the technology is that of the great. It's reverse engineered, so they will incapacitate you. There's not much you can really do. If you can get out of your body, then that's the best way to get away.
Okay. All right. Well, what about the beings in your star family that help you? Can you ask for help from them? Can you receive help?
Yeah, you can ask for help at any time. Things will go wrong for them during the process. Things will happen if you truly are just asking for help. You will get back to where you need to be. If you find yourself in a base, um, they'll take you back eventually. That's not good news if you end up in a base. I would do anything to not end up in a base
What what happens
with the government.
what happens in the bases?
These projects that they have where they're doing cloning and experimenting with birthing processes are truly gruesome. They'll take people and try to push them to the limits to try to trigger responses in the body that are desirable. So they'll torture people. When they make these beings, they'll be birthed and they'll be disgusting, not functional vessels, and they're just discarded like garbage. It's just a twisted place, and to end up down there, the chances of you getting out of there aren't as good as if you were to not be there in the first place.
How do they choose who will go there and who will not?
This is unknown. It's going to change with every different type of experimentation that they might want to do. So they might be looking for a specific type of person, maybe that doesn't have a lot of family, or maybe one that's not super credible as far as being a normal person. They might be considered a little bit weird, a little bit of a loner. No one would know they're gone.
Got it. Okay.
But a lot of times there's specific things that they're looking for in the person, maybe a genetic line that's related to somebody, and they want that type of genetic in what they're doing. These are they're varied
This is
greatly.
so similar to Atlantis. Why?
Exactly.
Why is that?
Because time is a spiral, and it's a circle from one view and a spiral from the other, and we're hitting that same point on this spirally circle. This is just how it goes, and this time, we win, but there's a lot that's going to be going on.